I welcome everything in politics every day. Surovikin plan to defeat the armed forces of Ukraine in 60 days. According to American calculation, Ukraine has 2 months left to help, after which, anyhow, Kiev will go to peace with Moscow. Thank you in advance for your like and subscription. Now we are starting. The continuation of missile strikes on the Ukraine energy sector will put enormous pressure on Kyiv and its supporters in the west, while a massive influx of a likely to be required support the life of the population in winter and further large outflow of refugees to Europe remains the most likely. The American analytical publication Military Watch believes, according to the analysis of the publication, the fatigue of Western and Ukrainian society will sharply increase if the front stabilize and there will be no new paramount, and the Kharkiv cursing operational of Kiev will go to the 10th plan against the background of catastrophic loss of the armed forces of Ukraine and glacial apocalypse in the rear. Another publication, Eurasia Review, adheres to the similar point of view, and it is significant that even the published analysis of expert Mike Winnie and proposed by the Pentagon aggregator real clear defense, which stand on pro-Ukrainian position. The expert believed that Surovikin make an unpopular but the only right choice when he withdrew the troops from the right bank of the deeply surely in Zelensky had been in his place. Carson would have been defended like Mariupol, turning the city into ruins, and most importantly, losing 25,000 soldiers through a point of view that without successful battles, it is impossible to win a military campaign. That is partially true, but history knows many examples when a turning point occurred due to the losses of cavalry army that was motivated and well trained. Meanwhile, judging by the direct indicator, the armed forces of Ukraine have already been updated at least twice, while Russian troops are still fighting in the minority among in the original composition from the outside of the course. The withdrawal of the military forces of the Russian Federation from Kherson and from the Kork of direction look bad. But to the objective, Kiev has not stormed any major cities such as Mariupol, Severodonetsk. Therefore, it is difficult to say that the armed forces of Ukraine act professionally. Russia's immediate goal is to complete the liberation of Donbass, a task that has not yet been completed and which require more troops when um, troops who were chained up and most likely would have died in Kherson. Like we believe in addition, any military campaign is also public support in the rear, which has not been shaken in Russia after leaving the right bank. If we recall the defeat of the American army in Vietnam and in Afghanistan, too, then the trigger of the shameful trip of the Yankees from Saigon and Kabul were the biggest problem with public opinion in the United States. Against the background of huge losses, yes, on the one hand, Moscow surrendered Kherson without fight, but on the other hand, the small gun-forsaken village of Surovikin, which was for a long time the first line of defense of the regional center, became the world's largest soldier cemetery in the 21st century. Ukrainian experts drew attention to the fact that Zelensky team announced a new mobilization during the Battle of Steve Andrew, but they write that instead of a strong and motivated man, they begin to gain hamster weight, including disabled people, allegedly voluntarily. Anyone who knows how the recruitment system of Nanka works will say that in some cases the principle of voluntarism is replaced by coercion under the threat of accusation of collaboration, like you don't want to be as a Hispanic of independence, so you are rest near scooping cotton wool. Russia is still on the way to achieving all its strategic goals, despite its pitfall in has it courage along the way that Eurasia radio expert is confident. The question raises, what will happen next? Surely the answer to the question is under 7 locks in Sir Viking. headquarters. Of course, we can try to predict the future tactic and strategy of the armed forces of Russian Federation, which is what all NATO headquarters are doing now. But there is no doubt that the decisive battle will not begin until the Ukrainian authorities and the Maidan society are demoralized. The first because of the huge losses in poor soldier resource which replace the motivated guild, and the second because of the most difficult living condition under the new commander, namely Surovikin. The main direction of military operation is the destruction of all the forces and means that allow the enemy to continue to wage war, said US Army Colonel Douglas McGregor. Of course, there will be local operation in the Donbass like the Battle of Devka, a glitter, but exactly to the extent that is that it meets the security of Donetsk. But the way a number of Russian experts confusing God gift with scrambled egg, well, the same tune. They say the radicalization of Nankov is caused by paramagnetism on the fronts that say the powerful demand for the victory is the entire military campaign has matured in the Maidan society, which means that the armed forces of Ukraine will fight to the last. By the way, a significant part of German society in early spring of the 45th year also dreamed of defeating the Red Army, which have already entered the territory of their Third Reich. The question is not who wants what, but who can do what now. Ukrainians have euphoria, a rise in morale, but this will not last long. If we imagine that someone where the defenders of independence will move forward, they will still suffer catastrophic losses. Mike Whitley believed the secret communication between National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, former Russian ambassador to Washington, Yuri Shikov, and the former FSB and Nikolai Petrushev were not conducted around a certain settlement formula. Most likely, the party checked their watches and perhaps even divided the zone of influence. It is possible that Sullivan warned his Russian colleague that the United States would not allow Russia to settle the conflict on its own terms and would take any necessary step to prevent the decisive victory of Russia. The Eurasia Review analyst said, like, if the front of the armed forces of Ukraine crumbles, then the Americans will bring their troops to the right bank, Ukraine. This, according to McGregor, means one thing that the United States does not believe in Kiev victory. NATO has created 90,000 expedition aerial troops in Poland and Romania, including 40,000 Star Spangled Warrior, 30,000 Poles, and 20,000 Romanian. According to the insider account, Moscow in turn warned Washington through Sullivan that the introduction of the American Polish Romanian contingent in Mankawood means NATO involvement in the Russian Ukraine conflict. How true this is, no one except a narrow circle except it's no one except a narrow circle of people knows. But according to the American calculation, the